Hey guys, Fred here, VE3FAL, Ontario Northwest Bushcraft and Outdoors, for Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. So, I think as I said to you guys, we took all the maple taps out. We still have some trees up there that are tapped for birch, but I brought home 2 gallons of birch sap the other day. I've left it in the fridge. I'm now going to boil it up or evaporate it till I can make down low enough to make syrup. I don't want to do it in the house because it creates way too much moisture in the house. It's a little windy, a little cool out. They are calling for snow flurries tonight, but I figure if I can boil this up here and burn it off in a few hours here, then I can finish it off in the house. So the ratio for birch syrup from sap is 60-1. So you need 60 gallons or 60 liters to make 1 gallon or 1 liter of syrup. So I have 2 gallons, so I'm not going to get a whole bunch out of it. So I'm just going to boil it up so I can use it up, turn it into syrup. I'm going to pre-filter it right now to get all the crud out, and then I'm going to light up the stove and see how this goes. Alright, so I pre-filtered some of it. Got a little bit more in here we still have to filter out. Going to start to boil here, see what happens. It's sweet, no real smell to it, but we'll see what happens here as we go. So we'll start boiling this stuff up, and we'll finish this stuff off here too. I'm going to go get another container to strain this into and then clean this bucket. Alright, so I've got 8 cups in the measuring cup. I've got well over that in here, and we've got a little bit left here. So once again, remember it's a 60-1 ratio. So you need 60 liters to make 1 liter of syrup. So we are a long ways away from that. See your breath outside here today, at least right now. It's just after 3, it's about 3:30 here in the afternoon. So we'll see how long it takes to boil this, boil it down, and then you can see it's a little bit cloudy already, so things have started to change drastically here with the weather. Alright, so to try and speed up the process here, I split it all out into 2. So we'll see if this boils a little quicker before I can get it in the house to finish it off. I'm going to go get my little strainer and start cleaning some of this stuff off, this foam that we see all the time in both the maple syrup as well as in the birch syrup as the minerals boil off. Alright, so we got a good boil going here in both. We're already skimming the foam off the top, just throwing it onto the ground here. That's the minerals and stuff coming out of the sap. So boil these down. We'll boil, keep this warm. Once we can add it to this pot and keep boiling, or either this one, whichever case might be. Boil them down, and we'll boil them down until they're brown, and we can work with them in the house. Okay guys, we're starting to evaporate pretty good out here. I think with the wind and everything else and stuff, it's taken off pretty good. You can see it starting to turn brown already, and I have to tell you, it smells sweet. Maybe not as sweet as the maple, but it is definitely getting a sweet smell to it. We're almost done scraping off a lot of the stuff that comes to the top. There isn't as much, but it is starting to get dark pretty quick. So a bit more evaporation and boil it off in the house. Alright, so I dumped everything just into the one pot here because this pot seems to have a much nicer boil. As you guys can see, it's changing color quite rapidly. So we're going to let this boil down to as low as we can. And once we're down to where I think I can bring it into the house, I'm going to bring it in and finish it. It's got to go down quite a bit yet. So, but you can sure smell the sweetness in this. Alright guys, so I brought this in the house, and I'm going to finish it off in the house. It's getting a little too cool outside, and the wind's blowing on the propane stove out there, cooling things off a little bit too much, but you can see the golden yellow golden brown here, and it smells so sweet. I mean, it does. It smells just like maple. So I'm not going to get a whole lot out of it, but it does indeed smell sweet. So I'm going to boil it off. I'm going to evaporate some more here before I put it into a smaller pot and kick her up to a nice rolling boil here in a smaller pot. And then we are going to go from there and see what we get. Alright guys, so I'm done the boil of the birch sap. So 2 gallons got me not quite a 1/4 cup of syrup. It's a nice color though, it looks good. But yeah, definitely the sugar content is a lot less than the maple is. Didn't quite get me 50 milliliters here. So the content is a lot different when it comes to the sugar with the birch to the maple. So I'll let it cool and we'll see how it tastes.